Welcome to Archijack After Hours, conversations beyond the blueprint. This is where we slow things down and talk honestly about architecture, the profession, the process, and the realities no one explains in school. Tonight's conversation dives into one of the most misunderstood professional journeys in the United States, the path to becoming a licensed architect. It's longer than most people expect, more demanding than many professions, and intentionally designed to shape judgment, responsibility, and leadership. So let's step beyond the drawings and into the process.
That's such a surprising comparison. And most people have no idea about the complexity involved.
Well, let me tell you about this fascinating conversation I had with a recent architecture graduate who thought they'd be designing skyscrapers right after getting their diploma. The reality check was intense.
That reminds me of the statistics I saw recently. Only about 40% of architecture graduates actually go on to become licensed architects.
You know what's really interesting about that? It's not just about the length of time. It's this incredibly structured journey through what they call the 3 E's: education, experience, and examination.
Oh, could you break down how those components actually work in practice? Because I think this is where a lot of misconceptions come in.
So here's the deal. First, you've got multiple educational paths. The traditional route is a 5-year Bachelor of Architecture. But, and this is what fascinates me, you can also do a 4-year degree in literally anything, then complete a 2-year Master's in Architecture.
That flexibility in education paths must bring such diverse perspectives to the field.
Exactly. Like, I recently heard about someone who studied environmental science first, and now they're revolutionizing sustainable architecture practices. But here's where it gets really interesting: the experience requirement.
Well, that's the part that really separates architecture from many other professions, isn't it?
Absolutely right. You need thousands of documented hours across multiple categories, all under licensed supervision. We're talking about everything from construction administration to project management.
And from what I understand, each of those hours has to be meticulously documented through the Architectural Experience Program.
And get this, you're not just sitting at a computer drawing pretty buildings. One day you might be negotiating with contractors, the next you're presenting to city planning boards, and then you're solving real-time construction issues.
That level of varied experience really shapes professional judgment in a unique way.
And then, oh man, we haven't even gotten to the exams yet. 6 different divisions, each testing different aspects of architectural knowledge. Plus, if you're in California, you get a bonus exam.
You know, I heard the pass rates for these exams are pretty sobering. Something like only 50% pass rate for some sections.
Well, that's because they're testing real-world scenarios. Like, you might get a question about materials that also involves budget constraints, energy efficiency, and construction scheduling, all interconnected.
That integrated thinking really sets architects apart from other design professionals.
Here's something wild. The skills you develop during this lengthy process, they're exactly what you need in practice. It's like the journey itself is carefully architected.
So what would you say to someone considering this path? Because it sounds pretty daunting.
Look, here's the thing. It's like building a skyscraper. You need a solid foundation before you can reach for the sky. Each phase builds on the last, developing judgment that you'll use throughout your career.
Such a perfect analogy for the process.
And you know what's fascinating? The most successful architects I've met say they needed every bit of those 8 to 12 years to develop their expertise. It's not just about checking boxes.
The transformation must be incredible, from someone who likes design to a professional who shapes our built environment.
Like, I recently spoke with a newly licensed architect who said something profound. She said the journey wasn't about learning to design buildings. It was about learning to design solutions for society.
That really puts the length and rigor of the process into perspective.
And here's what I think is most important. This profession literally shapes the world we live in. Every building you enter, every space you experience, was shaped by someone who went through this journey.
When you put it that way, the extensive preparation makes complete sense.
Well, that's why I find this whole process so fascinating. It's not just about creating beautiful buildings, it's about creating safe, functional, sustainable spaces that serve society for generations.
That's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? The impact on people's lives.
You know what? I think that's exactly why this journey, as long and challenging as it is, continues to attract passionate people who want to make a difference in the world. And that's what this journey is really about. Becoming an architect isn't a race. It's a process of growth, discipline, and responsibility. Every step, education, experience, and examination is designed to prepare you not just to design buildings, but to shape environments that affect real lives. If you're a student, a candidate, or someone considering this path, don't be discouraged by the time it takes. Embrace it, learn from it, and trust that every challenge is building the foundation for the architect you're becoming. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to check back for more ArchiJack After Hours. Conversations beyond the blueprint.